The Hunter Brothers are bringing the Homegrown Nights tour to the Kiwanis Theatre in Chatham on November 7th, and I'm thrilled to be joined by one of the five brothers, Ty Hunter, to talk about the show and the tour. Ty, how's it going, man?
I am doing fantastic. No complaints over here. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic as well. Let's dig into this show that's coming up. So we're located in Wallaceburg, Ontario, which is about a 20-minute drive to Chatham and to the Kiwanis Theatre. So I know you guys are really known for your signature harmonies, heartfelt storytelling, and really high energy performances. And I know for sure that the seats are very comfortable at the Kiwanis Theatre, but I'm guessing the goal for you guys is to not have the audience sitting in their seats.
Well, I mean, it's always so fun when everybody's got a lot of energy, but our crowds are honestly so diverse, and I know that people like to take in music differently, so we like to encourage people to enjoy the music as they want to, but this particular show, we wanted to exemplify what a day in the life of the Hunter Brothers looked like, so for the most part, that's pretty high energy and very active, and so yes, please get up out of your chairs, dance, do what you got to do. This is your night to enjoy. So it's a fun show.
So this is part 2 of the Homegrown Nights tour. So I'm taking it that part 1 went very well, considering it's carrying on into the fall.
Yeah, part 1 was super fun. It just always feels like it's never long enough. It's so fun to bring the music into that live performance stage because it's fun making it, it's fun writing it, but there's something about interacting with a live audience when all those pieces come together. So yeah, part 1 went great and we're stoked for part 2.
Right on. So obviously you're looking forward to Chatham. What other places are you headed to on part 2?
We head over to Picton in Ontario, and then we are in all sorts of dates in Western Canada. So Regina, Saskatoon, Edmonton, Calgary, among others.
I know in Chatham that you're going to be joined by a special guest, Dayna Reid. So what can you say, Ty, about the opener for this show?
Yeah, so Dayna is a fellow label mate of ours. She's an absolute sweetheart and just coming on the scene super strong. She's got a beautiful voice, beautiful presence, and we might even do a little collaboration in the show. We'll see. So yeah, she's fantastic and we're thrilled to have her join us on the show.
This tour is named after the single Homegrown Night, which was released earlier this year. So maybe can you describe that tune for me a bit, Ty, and how it became the name of the tour as well?
I think it just paints the picture of the small town lifestyle that we grew up in and are still presently in. But we felt that it was the right blanket for this show concept, hopefully encouraging people to come back to their own roots, whatever they may be, and also be in the night that we share together. But yeah, it's very much about what's real to us in small town living. Like I said, it's a day in the life of the Hunter Brothers. So what does that look like as a group of guys growing up in a small community? So the concept just ended up lending itself to that title, and it all kind of came together.
A Day in the Life of the Hunter Brothers, is that 2025 version, or is that kind of some tales of growing up together, that sort of thing?
It's a little bit of everything. I think just life on the farm, life as a big family, growing up together, that brotherly connection that we have, but also just the scope of what a day kind of looks like. That was early mornings, and so there's a part of the show where the alarm clock goes off and it's like 5 a.m. and it takes us through the experience that we would have had as kids just through the lens of music.
Excellent. So on top of Homegrown Night, other singles that you've released this year, Better Days, I Want You Back, All Kinds of Country. To me, it sounds like the makings of maybe a larger project. Am I right with that assumption, Ty?
Yeah, you got it. So we're putting together these tracks, just releasing them progressively one by one. That formulates an EP. So the last track for that lands on November 7th. And then we do have more songs that we're putting together to basically create a full album. So yeah, at this point we're at 7 songs, and those 7 songs felt cohesive and like they work together. And then there's more on the burner that we felt would round it out.
All the songs that I just mentioned, you can go on to wherever you stream music and you can listen to that right now. But you mentioned that another song is dropping on November 7th. It just so happens to be November 7th is that show in Chatham. So can you give us a little teaser and can fans expect to hear that new song in Chatham?
They 100% will hear that song in Chatham. It's actually in rehearsals. It's probably one of my, if not my favorite song to perform. So I think it's got so much energy. It's very interactive. And so, yeah, I'm excited that we get to release it and perform it the same day. So there's a special energy around that for sure.
100%. So I know the people in Chatham, Kent will be really excited to hear that they get to hear some new music. So you guys have played, festivals all over Canada. A couple really jumped out to me when I was looking you guys up and reading your bio, that sort of thing. But you guys had a 10-night residency at the Calgary Stampede Grandstand. So tell me a little bit about that, Ty. That just sounds epic just reading it.
Yeah, that was one of the most exciting times of my life, honestly. There are moments that come along as a performer where, I don't know, all of the stages are important. All of them are special. I mean, some performances go south more than others, but there are certain experiences that stand out. And that was definitely one of them. To be on the grandstand stage in front of 20,000 people every single night was wild. And to have the show just with all of the spectacle elements was wild. I mean, you got fireworks going off at the top of the show. You got drones. You have 114, I think it was, young Canadians that are dancing on the stage. And so we got to perform Footloose with them in conjunction with our own tracks. And it was just, the energy around it was something I'll never forget. The people who organized it and orchestrated it were fantastic to work with. And the fact that you're able to perform and bring country music to people from all around the world, that's something that's really unique to the Stampede. Is it's not just the Western cowboys and cowgirls of the world. It's people from all around the world. So it's really, really cool what comes together there. But yeah, I can't say enough about that.
So another one that we're fond of, it's not too far from us, the Boots and Hearts Music Festival. That's a really cool outdoor experience, festival, and tons of people. You mentioned, described the Calgary Stampede experience, but how do you guys pivot, I guess, from playing those kind of shows like the Stampede, like Boots and Hearts, like I said, outdoor, high energy, thousands of people, to this more intimate setting, that the people in Chatham are going to see at the Kiwanis Theatre?
Yeah, it's so funny because with 5 different brothers, 5 different personalities, there's always this, we get along really well, but there's always figuring out how you're going to present each show. So it's not just like you have one band leader, you have 5 brothers trying to figure it out. So on top of shifting and pivoting the show, depending on what stage it is, you have those different personalities that are figuring it out. But I think, at one point we had 4 different versions of Born and Raised. There was like a 1.5-minute version. There was a 3-minute version, a 6-minute version, a 7-minute version. And so it kind of depended what stage we were performing on, like how we would present that. And that's true of a lot of our songs. So I think as a musician or as a performer, you have to be ready to pivot at any time. I think you nailed it. Pivot is such an appropriate word, because what happens if all of a sudden the sound system goes down? What happens if you need to break out an acoustic guitar and just sing vocally? Or what happens if the stage is a theater versus a large festival? Or, it's just the night that people may be enjoying it, but they do want to sit, and the next night they want to stand. So I think especially my job as a front man is to read that room and to try and be in step and stride with that while simultaneously bringing together the pieces that you've rehearsed. So it's such an interesting psychology, but it would be so boring if it was all the same every time. So yeah, I think it's just learning how to present your show in a multitude of ways. And
along those lines, Ty, do you guys kind of keep that in mind when you're sitting around and writing the music and preparing the songs from the ground floor? Do you keep that in mind to ensure that there's that solid foundation, that it can be dynamic, it can be flexible when it comes to performing it live?
Absolutely. That is one of the key elements when we write, is thinking about the live performance element of it. And I think, again, as artists, it's not a one size fits all the time. So you might walk into a songwriting room and it lends itself to this live epic performance and the energy is high, so you just keep that rolling. Then all of a sudden there might be a day where you're super just introspective and that artistry looks completely different. And so you have to follow the trail of where that goes. And so I think it just depends on the day, but live performance is definitely something we consider when we're writing.
So hailing from Saskatchewan, 5 brothers in the band. So you're not only acclaimed musicians, but you're also deeply rooted farmers and hockey players. So you guys are really checking a lot of the boxes of what it means to be Canadian, I think, here, right? So, but maybe expand on that, Ty, on how farming and hockey specifically specifically has helped shape the Hunter Brothers?
Yeah, it's wild because we've been told that we're crazy because not only was farming one of the most unpredictable careers, then you add the music industry into that and a sport like hockey. And it seems like you're always in this gamble, so to speak, because you don't know what's coming next. You don't know if there's going to be rain for the crops. You don't know if there's going to be a global pandemic. You don't know if there's honestly like so many factors can shape and shake up those particular career paths. But I think one thing that they share in common is having a work ethic. So that was instilled from, a young age. So I think when we hit the long days or nights on the road, we were accustomed to that because of waking up and having these long days on the farm or, traveling with hockey. So that it all works together in that capacity. But also, again, wildly unpredictable in terms of where they're going. So I think because of that, there's the ability to have those things merge in some type of way that maybe, you put an office job together with a music career, I don't know, or with like the farm, it just might not quite work. Whereas because they're all kind of all over the place, we have hired hands on the farm as well. And so that allows for there to be some flexibility.
So you guys all still work the farm? Like the family farm? The
other 4 guys are all presently working on the farm. And so they're trying to wrap up the harvest basically as we
And you
speak.
get to do interviews.
Exactly. But it hit a certain point where, we needed to divide and conquer a little bit. So, there's 5 different families to feed. And so as like things are unpredictable. So you have to be versatile nowadays. And so the guys are still farming. And I was like, I don't think that I can pursue the agriculture career and the music career at the same time and have us be able to balance everything. So that's where that shift happened a little bit naturally. And then, but also farming's maybe not my number one passion. So it all's kind of shaping out and working as it needs to one day at a time.
Okay, so you guys are located in Saskatchewan. You're coming to Ontario. There's lots of teams out west, but there's not an NHL team in Saskatchewan. So who do you guys root for as brothers, or is it kind of a mixture?
I would say that predominantly the Oilers would be the main team because JJ played exhibition games with the Oilers, and so he was in this system there, and he played for their farm team for a period of time and lived with Ryan Smith, and so there was a whole history there with the Oilers. And so even though Calgary was closer, 5 hours away, Edmonton seemed to take the cake on that one just because of those personal connections, and so I think that runs deep.
I'm sure the Leafs fans here in Chatham and Ontario will be okay with that, considering where you're from, I guess, right?
Well, JJ played with the Toronto Roadrunners and the Marlies, so because of the affiliate teams being in Toronto, he is well acquainted with the city, and so he has roots there for sure. But yeah, the Leafs... Yeah, we won't get into that.
We need a little bit of that Oilers magic. They seem to have it more figured out, I think, than the Leafs do these days, right?
Yeah, it's all seasons, right?
Absolutely. Once again, the Hunter Brothers are bringing the Homegrown Nights tour to the Kiwanis Theatre in Chatham on November 7th. Grab your tickets at cktickets.com. And for more information about the Hunter Brothers and their upcoming EP that we'll look for, head to hunterbrothers.com. Ty, thank you very much for chatting with me today.
Thank you so much for having this conversation. Really appreciate you, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future.